Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to this week's news recap. If you're watching on video and you're thinking, that's not where Laura usually records, yes, you are right. I made the most perfectly timed vacation ever and am on holiday in one of the only spots in the country that isn't totally snowed in and frozen and potentially also out of water, heat, and electricity. For those of you who are suffering under those conditions, I do hope that you get all your utilities back soon. All right, time for this week's crypto news recap. First headline, Bitcoin blows past 50K, institutional investors dip their toes in. The flagship crypto had another landmark week after passing the halfway mark to 100K on early Monday morning and pushing up to a new all-time high at 52K by mid-Wednesday. On-chain analyst Willy Woo, in an interview on the Investors Podcast Network, estimates the top of the current bull run will reach $102,000, roughly doubling Bitcoin's current price. He went on to explain that his models estimate a bare floor of $30,500, a prediction that, if true, means we will never see sub-30K Bitcoin again. In a Thursday morning tweet storm, Wu updated his prediction, saying that Bitcoin is showing, quote, strong support at 48K. Crypto analyst Plan B, in the same podcast interview, says we are still in the infancy of a bull run, and that, quote, we have at least half a year to go. Plan B, using data from previous bull runs in 2013 and 2017, estimates Bitcoin's price topping out anywhere between 100K and 300K. Running parallel to the rise in the Bitcoin price is the increase in institutional adoption and interest in Bitcoin. In the last week, Blackrock CIO Rick Reeder said the asset management giant, quote, is starting to dabble in crypto. Bloomberg reported that Morgan Stanley's $150 billion Counterpoint Global Investment Unit is considering placing a bet on Bitcoin. Bond king Jeffrey Gundlach, who had previously been negative about Bitcoin, tweeted that it may be, quote, the stimulus asset. And Deutsche Bank is aiming to develop a custody platform for digital assets. In addition to these new institutions getting into crypto, Microstrategy announced plans to raise another $600 million to purchase Bitcoin through the sale of senior convertible notes. The company already owns 71,079 Bitcoin, worth about $3.7 billion at publishing time. While not institutional news, rapper Jay-Z and Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey, who are institutions unto themselves, are donating 500 BTC toward Bitcoin development in Africa and India. Next headline, Coinbase facilitated Tesla's Bitcoin purchase, private shares trading at a $77 billion valuation. The block reported that Tesla used Coinbase in its $1.5 billion purchase of Bitcoin. While neither Tesla nor Coinbase was available for comment, sources familiar with the deal said the purchase was executed over several days in early February using a similar workflow to that used for MicroStrategy, in which the order was routed to several OTC trading desks. Coinbase is currently valued at $77 billion based on trading of the company's privately held shares via the Nasdaq private market, where individual shares are being traded for $303. Coinbase plans to go public later this year with a direct listing, a technique popularized by Spotify and Palantir, in which Coinbase will post its shares directly onto the exchange. Next headline, Robinhood takes heat in congressional hearings, promises to someday allow crypto withdrawals. Robinhood, Citadel, Melvin Capital, Reddit, and trader Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, testified in front of the U.S. House of Financial Services Committee on Thursday afternoon in regards to the GameStop mania and Robinhood's decision to suspend trading on certain stocks. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev did not directly answer Representative Maxine Waters' yes or no question about whether or not Robinhood faced a liquidity problem that forced it to shut off purchases of GameStop and other stocks on its platform during the height of the GameStop mania. In a series of tweets on Wednesday, Robinhood said it intended to allow customers to deposit and withdraw cryptocurrencies. Customers currently only have the option to purchase or sell crypto on the platform. Robinhood further clarified that it does not invest in cryptocurrency and intend for its actions to be systemic, objective, and derived from first principles going forward. Robinhood did not give a timetable for when deposits and withdrawals would be enabled. Next headline. Dapper Labs gets a $2 billion valuation as NFTs grab big names. NFT startup Dapper Labs is closing in on a $250 million round of new funding after the rapid growth of its NBA Top Shot NFT product. The deal would value the firm at $2 billion. NBA Top Shot recently saw 2 digital cards sell for $100,000 apiece, a LeBron James from the top and a Zion Williamson Holo MMXX. Dapper Labs, previously on Unchained, has so far seen $100 million in revenue from sales of its first successful NFT product, CryptoKitties, and NBA Top Shot. Another project to keep an eye on is The First 5,000 Days, a digital artwork by Beeple, a previous guest on the show, hosted by blockchain-based digital art platform Makerspace. It will be, quote, the first purely digital artwork to be sold by a major auction house, which will be the venerated Christie's, which will also be accepting Ether as payment. Jesse Walden, founder of Media Chain Labs, who was also a previous guest on Unchained, published an essay titled NFTs Make the Internet Ownable, in which he uses his years in the music industry to explain how NFTs fix problems that creators have had on the internet. He writes, quote, in media, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, make it possible for creators to retain ownership of their content without limiting the propagation of their files across the internet. As a result, NFTs have the potential to invert the ownership model of media, offering creators, their audiences, and developers who build for them a viable alternative to platform-driven monetization. Walden says NFTs cannot be copied, edited, pasted, or manipulated by anyone. NFTs unlock the ability to uniquely own digital media assets, he says, in the same way that Bitcoin allows for unique ownership of digital financial assets. Read the full essay to see where Jesse thinks the space is going and where we are in the adoption cycle. Next headline, DeFi Roundup. On Wednesday, crypto asset manager Bitwise announced the Bitwise DeFi Crypto Index, the first DeFi index fund, which provides a vehicle through which accredited investors can bet on DeFi through a regulated security. The DeFi market, while young and prone to hacks, has grown from $1 billion in early 2020 to $56 billion in total value locked into protocols this month. Bitwise CIO Matthew Hogan says, quote, there's a huge amount of venture capital pouring into the space. The block reports that Uniswap, Aave, Synthetics, Maker, Compound, UMA, Yearn Finance, 0x, and Loopring will make up the diversified fund. Also in the DeFi roundup, flash loans were once again used to attack a DeFi application on February 13th when an attacker exploited Alpha Homora's V2 code and stole roughly $38 million. The resulting debt will be worked out between the Alpha team and Cream V2, as the nature of the attack affected protocol-to-protocol lending, not protocol-to-consumer lending. Next headline, the first North American Bitcoin ETF starts trading. The first North American Bitcoin Exchange Traded Fund, or ETF, began trading in Canada Thursday. The Purpose Bitcoin ETF trades under one ticker, BTCC.B, for the Canadian dollar-denominated version, and another ticker, BTCC.U, for the US dollar-denominated version. While multiple closed-end crypto funds exist in North America, such as Canada's 3iQ and the digital currency group's Grayscale Trust, an ETF allows for the crypto-backed investment vehicles to be traded on a continual basis instead of only at initial offerings and reopenings. At least one analyst sees this as a good sign a US one will be approved soon. And on that note, on Tuesday, NYDIG, the crypto unit of Stone Ridge Holdings Group, filed for a Bitcoin ETF with the US Securities and Exchange Commission in the hopes that 2021 will be the year the SEC finally relents. Next headline. Bitcoin mining in North America poised to take off as debate over environmental impact continues. CoinDesk reported Tuesday that Bitcoin miners made $354 million last week, a new record for weekly revenue. The block estimated that, quote, institutional investors in North America have allocated more than $500 million to mining equipment over the past few months, with at least 10 institutions announcing pre-bulk orders since October 2020. In addition to investing in mining hardware, Luxor Technologies announced a $725,000 pre-seed round backed by Argo Blockchain, Celsius Network, and others. However, the long-standing controversy around the environmental impact of Bitcoin heated up this week. According to an analysis by Cambridge University, if Bitcoin were a country, it would rank in the top 30 of all countries in terms of its energy consumption. Tim Swanson, founder and director of research at Post Oak Labs, published a salty article that estimated future Bitcoin energy consumption could be roughly equivalent to the US, quote, without seeing anywhere near the economic output, if the price ever reached $1 million per Bitcoin. He views Bitcoin as an inferior alternative to the current financial infrastructure, writing, quote, Bitcoin currently uses about 3 orders of magnitude more computing machinery than Fedwire, yet processes and secures significantly less. It is monumentally less efficient per watt on purpose. In response to what she called mining FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, Meltem Demirors, chief strategy officer at CoinShares, created a website titled bitcoinwillnotboiltheocean.com, which will publish, quote, well-supported, credible, academic, and independent research on the side of Bitcoin mining. Andy Estrom, author of Why Buy Bitcoin, and Peter McCormack, the host of What Bitcoin Did, also published an essay saying Bitcoin mining could be used to build renewable energy centers in rural and remote areas, bringing them online. Time for fun bits. If you haven't yet seen the video of the 3-year-old Lily explaining Bitcoin, you absolutely have to stop everything and watch it now. Since it's Lily's show, I won't say more, but this is possibly the most adorable explanation of Bitcoin that is on the interwebs. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. To learn more about Leah and Girl Gone Crypto, be sure to check out the links in the show notes of this episode. Don't forget, we are now on YouTube. Subscribe to the Unchained Podcast YouTube channel today. Unconfirmed is produced by me, Laura Shin, with help from Anthony Yoon, Daniel Ness, Dan Edelbeck, Shashank, and the team at CLK Transcription. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, next week we will be on the Unchained podcast feed.